Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. After checking innumerable papers of innumerable students, after you can say the midterm exams or the pre-mock exams, I am here with an important topic of commonly misspelled words, which normally majority of the students commit mistakes while they are spelling in the tension of exam, you can say. Normally, when you will ask the spellings of those words from the students or you ask the difference about those words, they are able to differentiate. But in the tension of exam, they create these mistakes. So, one thing that you need to keep in mind that Cambridge is not going to compromise on three things. Number one, spellings. Number two, punctuation. And number three, grammar. This you can sum up briefly that there is no compromise on SPG. You can read it from the assessment objectives which the Cambridge has provided for its learners that there is no compromise on these three things. So when you are enjoying your winter break, it is my advice that in your healthy mood, revise these spelling mistakes or any other commonly misspelled words that you can find from your checked notebooks or from your checked papers when you get them back from your teachers, and make a commitment that you are not going to repeat these mistakes in the coming exams, because obviously you will be taking your exam of CIEs after 3 consistent years of practice. So there should not be any compromise on the spelling mistakes. So first of all, let's look at these mistakes, that what are the commonly misspelled words that we have in front of us so that we avoid their mistakes. Number one, which was the word which I found mostly misspelled, was the difference between there and there. The first there, as you know, is spelled THEIR. And what does it mean? It means it is used for belonging or for the possession of something. And the second there with ERE means distance. Now you can make an arrow at the top of this word in order to remember that this ERE there means that things which are in the distance. I have made a sentence in which both theirs have been used. For example, their books are lying there in the cupboard, meaning the belonging there has EIR, and the one with distance meaning has ERE. One you have to remember so that the other is normally and the other will be naturally spelled correctly. But if you will not remember even one, then obviously you will be repeatedly making this mistake. And as many red circles on your paper, as much you can say poor impression is created of your performance. So the target should be accurate spellings and the target should be least red circles. The second commonly misspelled word was principal. You see that these are those words which are commonly used in the academic scenario. In directed writing question, normally you have to write a letter to the principal or you have to write a report to the principal. So in the school scenario, the word principal should end with PAL. One you will remember, that will be the school scenario principal, the head of the institute, and the other one will be automatically spelled correctly, and the other one with PLE means rules and regulations. Basically, both these words have the connotation of school scenario. Both of them are linked with the school scenario because the head of the institute is also in the school and he lays principles for the benefit of the students. Principles means rules. So the sentence is, our school principal has set certain principles regarding discipline. Now, when you will misspell this word repeatedly, so the number of circles will definitely improve. The third mistake, specifically, the word is specially, and the one starting with E and the one without E. Both of them have different meanings. So let me explain them to you. Specially means for a specific purpose or done intentionally. Look at the sentence. The cake was specially made for the birthday boy. It means it was specially made for a specific purpose, it was made. And the one having E means to a great extent or more than usual. For example, the sentence is that she is a great cook especially when it comes to desserts. If you are not making mistake of this word, you can just ignore it. But if you think that you are making mistake of this word, then you need to memorize the difference of meaning and their spellings. Now, number 4, the word lying and laying. The word lying is normally used when we say that she is lying, meaning she is telling us false information. She is not speaking truth. She was lying about her age. She was not giving us true information about her age. And the second, laying means to place or put something down. For example, she is laying the foundation for the new building. In hurry, the student add a where it is not required and they skip a where it was required. So don't make this mistake. The next word which I found commonly misspelled in majority of the students' papers was pros and cons. You will be maybe amused or maybe you feel embarrassed to hear that some of the students had written PROSE, some of the students had written PRONS. So several, you can say, funny words were created out of these two simple words. If you don't know the spellings of these words, you can simply substitute them with their appropriate synonyms, which I have shared in front of you. Pros means advantages, benefits, positive outcomes. And cons means disadvantages, drawbacks, losses, or negative outcomes. So either you remember the correct word with the correct spelling, or you find the substitute and memorize the correct spelling of the synonyms. The next word which I found commonly misspelled in majority of the students' paper was this word basically has these are three words. The first one with double O means loose. The shirt was loose. It means that it was not tight. So you can remember this by remembering this hint in your mind that double O signifies something loose, means it is too much in quantity, so it is loose. And the second one is loss. Loss is a noun. For example, you can say that he suffered a loss in his new business. And the third one is loses, which is a verb. For example, you can say he is losing his weight. Yeah, he seems to lose his interest in the audio message. Yeah, he loses his interest in the lecture. Something like that you can keep in mind. Until and unless you will make sentences of these words, you will not be able to memorize the difference. So don't take them lightly. Basically, number of red circles you have to get rid of because the target is accuracy of spellings. The next mistake commonly found in your papers was the word affect and effect. The word starting with a meaning affect, it is a verb. So the sentence which I have shared in front of you is that the teacher's encouraging words affected the new student positively. And the word starting with E is a noun. For example, the sentence is that the mother's advice had no effect on her only son. So the one is starting with verb is starting with a, and the one which is noun starts with E. One you will remember, the other one will be automatically remembered. Advice and advise. The first one starting with C is a noun. Giving advice to someone is easy, but acting upon it is rather challenging. So this is a noun. Remember that. And the second one with S in it is a verb. So you can change the form of the verb. So you can say, I advised my students to note down their mistakes carefully. I have made simple sentences according to the context of exam so that you memorize them and you don't make these mistakes in the coming exams. The next mistake is practice with C and practice with S. Remember that the one with C is a noun and the one with S is a verb. The sentence for noun practice is that practice makes a man perfect, and the sentence with practice Verb means please remember to practice past papers before the start of CAIs. I have told you that I have made simple sentences according to the context so that you don't make this mistake in the coming exam. The list goes on and on. And these were the 10 words which I found misspelled in the papers of, you can say, above average students. You can see that these are challenging words. Some of the words are quite interesting and even difficult. The above average students decided to improve their vocabulary. They used these words, but they came up with wrong spelling. So it created a negative impression. The requirement by Cambridge is that you should be able to spell the word accurately and write it down in its correct form in the correct context. Otherwise, obviously, you will spoil the impression which you want to create onto the examiner's mind. I'm going to move in with this list the word opportunity. I'm reading it like that because you must remember that after O double P, there is O. Students wrote U over here. So this was the first word which was commonly misspelled. The one second word is commitment. Initially there is double M and afterward there is single M. So remember the spellings of commitment if you are committed to improve your grades. The third word is possession. Remember that this word has four S. Double S, E, double S. Double S, E, double S. The teachers would have taught you phonics at your initial grades. So same practice you should be following in your senior grades because the target is accurate spellings. Yes. The next word is consciousness. Very easily, first you should be able to spell conscious with SC because this is the part that the students misspell. They just write CONSIOUS. They miss the C. So don't miss the C in the consciousness because it is silent C. Then dilemma has not single M, but it has double M. Dilemma. Dilemma. The next word is indispensable. You can break it into syllables, then you will never misspell this word. First, you will write in, then you will write this, then you will write pen, then you will write sable. Indispensable. It means necessary, important, crucial, significant, worthwhile, or any other synonym that you can think of. The next word is detrimental. The word detrimental, again, you can break it into syllables so that you don't misspell it. First, you will write detri, then you will write mental. Detrimental. Four syllables in this word. The next word is monotonous. Majority of the students spell it by just writing monotonous. Mono you have to write first. First you will write mono, then you will write tono, and then you will write us. You see, these are motherly tips which I am sharing with you because I am concerned that your spellings become accurate. The next word is repercussions. Repercussions has double S. Many students decided to write this challenging word, but sadly the spellings were wrong. So do remember the spellings, otherwise miss this word. The next word is, and the last one in my list, which I noted down while checking the papers. I noted down the misspelled words so that the next time I meet my students, I will ask them to write corrections of these words so that in mock exams they come up with accurate spellings. So the word is procrastinating. They just write procrastinating. The word is procrast, CRAS. This was the wrong part in this word. So please take a screenshot. Do write the corrections several times until and unless you have mastered them. This was another category of mistakes in the spellings category, that you joined words which should have been independent. Three words. For example, the word is a lot of. This is three word. This is not just one word or two word. Many students join a lot. They join a with lot, or they join lot with of. Remember that this is a three word. These are three word. This is not one word. in order to, in front of. These are three words. Eyesight is one word, and always the students divide it into two words on their own. Then the word overweightage. There should be dash or hyphen in between. Best friends, two words. And blackboard. Sorry, I have also misspelled it by, you can say, being a human, or maybe I wanted to point out here there should be K instead of H. So you can correct this word. And another interesting mistake was that the shape of the letter I created too many red circles on the papers of many of the students. Remember that I has a dot at its head when we write small I. But the students, instead of writing a dot, they make a complete ball, which creates a funny impression. Avoid this mistake. And the second important thing with regard to the letter I, which you should keep in mind, is that I alone is always written as a capital letter, even in the middle of sentences. Many of the students, now you see, this is such a childish thing, but even at IGCSE and GCSE level, I have to point it out because I saw so many small I's, or they should have been capitalized and the students had written them in the shape of small I's. So don't make this mistake. It creates a very bad impression. I have given an example in front of you where I was used as an independent letter in the middle of sentence and it was written as a capital letter. This is how you should be writing. When I decided to prepare for my exam, comma, I became extremely serious. Then remember the difference between who and which. Remember that who is used for living beings and which is used for non-living beings. Many of the students had you can say, used these two words. So this also creates a bad impression. If you are referring to a person, use who. If you are referring to an animal or an object or an idea, use which. So this is the tip that you have to remember. And then the difference between its without apostrophe and the it's with apostrophe. What does it mean? You see, both of them have different meanings and we misuse them or misspell them. It's contraction. It's a short form or contraction of it is or it has. So this one is a short form. For example, it's a beautiful day today. It means that it is a beautiful day, or it has been a long time since I saw you. So remember one thing, that this is the short form and this one is used for belonging or for possession. So please don't misspell them. Then many of the students made mistakes in the usage of apostrophe, which normally people don't even know what to pronounce. The word is apostrophe, and where it is used when you are talking about the belonging or possession of certain things. What are the rules of apostrophe? Many students commit this mistake in their composition paper. Unnecessary use of apostrophe in plurals. When they are writing plurals, they put apostrophe over there without any reason. Plurals don't have apostrophes. Number one thing you have to remember this. When you are talking about the single nouns belonging, so you should be writing apostrophe like this. Single noun was Ali, for example, Ali's dress or Ali's car or Ali's paper or Ali's school. There should be apostrophe after the name of that person in this way. If you are talking about plural persons' belongings, then you will put the apostrophe outside S like this. Boys' notebooks are lying on the desk. This is for plural nouns. And for irregular plurals, don't end in S, which don't end in S. Rather, add an apostrophe followed by the letter S. Look at the example. For example, children's clothes. Now you see that children is a plural word, but it does not end with S. So that is why we put apostrophe S. But scissors was a plural which ended with S. So we just placed the apostrophe without S because already the word has S in it. So we will not be adding S at the end of the apostrophe in a word which already has an S. But if it is a plural word without S at the end, like children, then we will put apostrophe as well as S. Now let's memorize and differentiate between American and British spellings. One thing you must remember is that as learners of GCSE or IGCSE, you are strictly advised to use British spellings, not American. So you must put U in behavior, you must put U in color, you must put U in demeanor, honor, and you must spell center the way I have spelled in front of you on the screen, CENTRE, theater, RE. And you must spell organize with S, not with Z. You must spell realize with S, not with Z. You must spell prioritize with S, analyze with S, and program with with double M, not with single M. Because the advice is British spellings are to be used, not American. This will simply add to the number of red circles in your paper. Then the confusion about single letter or double letter. Should it be single L or should it be double L? You know that in British, the correct spelling for traveler has double L. British spelling for skillful has single L both times. British spelling for willful has single L. And British spelling for enroll has single L. Is that clear? So this was all which I found with regard to the topic of commonly misspelled words and the mistakes of spelling in the papers of, you can say, composition most commonly, and even in comprehension paper or in summary writing. So please make a record of your commonly misspelled words whenever your teachers return you the papers. Don't just throw them. Don't just you can say shove them in your bags. Rather, work upon your mistakes because these words are going to be repeated and you must spell them accurately. Best of luck for next coming exams. Allah Hafiz.